Yo, it's Bustian from BossLifeHacks.com, and today I'll tell you about my 3-day fast. More specifically, I'll tell you about the things I learned and the things I noticed and whether or not I recommend it for you or not. So basically, to just go through the rules once more time, I didn't eat any food for 3 days. I only had coffee every morning. That's 1 cup of coffee. Plus on the first 2 days I had about 40 grams of coconut oil, that's pure fat, just to help me to get into ketosis faster. At first I did a few, presumptions before fasting. I was trying to figure out how I will feel, whether I'll be able to work or not. I was hoping my skin will get a bit better. My skin is not the best. I do get pimples quite fast, especially if I eat like sugar or anything related to that. Gluten and milk is also not the best for me. So I was testing out a few things, right? And more or less just to see if I'm able to last without it or not. A sort of stoic philosophy, sort of presumption, right? So let's see what happened. Let's do a short recap of all the days first, just to see what's up. Basically, day 1 was not really difficult. I'm used to doing intermittent fasting anyway, so day 1 was basically the same as any other day. I think I even did like 3 or 4 hour walk during that time. I did a lot of work, I was motivated, I had enough energy. I was not that cold yet, so it was okay, right? On day 2, basically it was very similar to day 1. I was not like super hungry or whatever. The thing I noticed was that I was getting increasingly cold, like I needed 2 sweaters, I needed, like a hoodie on me, like 2 blankets in the night. But other than that, no big deal, right? I had enough energy, I could do everything that I wanted to do. Day 3 got pretty tough. On day 3 I was super cold. I was feeling grumpy in the morning. I almost was thinking about quitting. I was, I didn't feel really well. I was very weak, it was kind of hard to go up the stairs, stuff like that. So it wasn't like super amazing, but whatever, we went through it. So by far the most important thing I learned was energy expenditure, right? Your body is crazy in regulating your energy, and I noticed that massively, right? So the most important thing I noticed was body heat. For example, I was getting increasingly cold, right? The first day I already had like 2 sweaters on, and then on the second and third day I was just cold all the time. I was like really cold, wearing hoodies in like super sunny weather and just like jackets and double blankets, and I was really cold, right? The other thing related to energy expenditure was I noticed that especially on day 3, when I was starting to feel weaker, I would like walk slower, even on the stairs. Usually I jump 2 at a time, so I go fast. I want to save time, right? Well, in this case, no, I was walking as slow as like somebody who's 70 or 80 years old. I was walking super slow to kind of conserve my energy, and I didn't do that consciously, right? It was all unconscious. So basically my body was really trying hard not to expend energy. Okay, so how to apply this lesson of energy expenditure to your regular life, or even to your like dieting or nutrition in general, right? I noticed that straight after I've eaten, like my body heat got like super up, like I got red in the face, like I just started burning with energy, right? So it was really fast. It was like my body turned into like a nuclear reactor or something, right? So what you can conclude from this is if you go on a diet that's like severely restricted in calories, your metabolism, like your natural body energy expenditure, will go down, okay? So if that goes down, you won't burn as much calories, and then you won't lose as much weight. So it's crucial that once a week or once every 14 days you do like a serious overfeeding day, okay? Like overeating, like you eat way more calories than you should, so you like boost your metabolism back up. Now I know people, like everybody who knows anything about diet will tell you that, especially after you decrease your body fat by a lot, they will tell you do overfeed days, right? But I got to experience that on an actual experiential level this time, which was really helpful. So now I know how it feels like, I know how to do it. Besides energy expenditure, I noticed another thing which might sound as nothing super, fancy or no magic at all. It's I had a lot more time. I had so much free time. It's crazy. So much. It's, like I'm pretty good with time management as it is, but in this case, I just had so much time because I didn't need to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. I didn't need to prepare food. I didn't need to clean the dishes. Like I had, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours more each day. I had crazy amounts of time, right? So actually that helped me to produce quite a amazing amount of work, right? I was really focused, at least for the first 2 days when I was not like feeling weak. So I got a lot of shit done. I don't know, I shot like 4 or 5 vids, edited everything, edited like a big portion of the upcoming book, etc., etc. I did a lot of stuff, right? So another possible application of fasting for you is you can fast when you need more time, when you're really, rushed for deadlines, when you need to do a lot of things. You can fast in order to save time and really focus on the thing that matters the most. What I could warmly suggest or recommend here is intermittent fasting. If you just cut your, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, whatever the amount of meals per day you have to 1 or 2 meals a day, you will again save at least an hour or even more per day, which amounts to a lot of time. So I really, really recommend that. Now, besides energy expenditure and the vast amount of free time, I noticed another thing, which is more like of a mental thing, like the weird things that start to go on in your head. So on day 2 already, when I woke up, I was not straight out of the bed, which is usual for me. Usually when I wake up, I'm like out and I start doing shit straight away, my morning routine and then hustle, right? Day 2, I was not so fast, and day 3, I was even lying in the bed and just like, wanting time to pass faster or whatever. So it's basically, it was connected mentally as well, right? So I don't know whether it was because of the lack of energy or general weakness or whatever, but like weird thoughts start to come, like lack of motivation. On day 3, I didn't really do that much work. I kind of watched, I think 2 or 3 movies, So it really, it showed me, how much like this physical thing can actually have an impact on your overall feeling and how you are, right? And that fact connects nicely with, I think I heard it from Tony Robbins, or I'm not sure who exactly, but it was something that happiness equals energy expenditure or something like that. So basically there is some sort of link in the amount of energy that you feel or have daily and how you feel after it, right? For example, on day 3 I was super weak, I didn't have a lot of energy, and that kind of translated to a lack of motivation and general, not feeling so well, right? So what you can conclude from this is that you should work on your like energy levels every single day. Make sure your macros, micros and all of that is in check. Make sure your exercise is in check, because if you have a lot of energy daily, you will kind of feel better as well. Okay, so you can conclude this one from here as well. Lastly, my skin did improve. I checked it a couple of days after. It was a bit better. It was not amazingly better. Like, I don't know, maybe I just, believe too much of the hype there's out there on the internet. I thought it will be like, oh, miraculously, like all the spots will disappear and, I will be like a Greek god, looking in the mirror. That was obviously not true. But it did clear a bit, at least those spots that I had at the time, like they kind of went away, and I felt that it changed a little bit. Another thing, I didn't feel any like muscle loss or whatever. I was not like tracking my weight, blood sugar, blood ketones or whatever, but I didn't, notice like a drastic, loss in weight or whatever the fuck like that. So no need to worry about that. Another major realization is as well just the basic simple fact of doing it, of like not eating for 3 days, not, worrying about it for too much, and, still going on with your life as usual. I still did the work, I still had some Skype calls, I still went to the beach, I did everything that I would normally be doing in my life, okay? It's just that I decided not to eat for 3 days. So it's like nothing changed, which can kind of like calm you down. Like sometimes we're obsessed, oh, we need to eat every 6 hours, or like, if you're a little hungry, sometimes you can't even function. And like, no, like your body can handle it, okay? It was a very, very good test in, say, Stoic philosophy, or, like testing one's boundaries. because even like all the ancient philosophers, they said know thyself, right? And what better way there is to know thyself and your body than to see how you react, how you act when you're deprived, when you don't have everything that you need, when you don't have the food for a few days. So it was a really, really good exercise. I could warmly recommend it to anybody. Unless you have any pre-existing medical conditions, for 3 days, if you just drink enough water, nothing bad should happen. It would be cool if you don't have like any serious job or something, so you can relax and rest if you need to. But again, for 3 days, like, you won't die, nothing's gonna happen. But then again, I'm not a doctor, so don't take this as a medical advice or whatever. So all in all, I'm very happy I did this 3-day fasting experience, not eating for 72 hours. I learned a lot. Most importantly, I learned about energy expenditure. I learned, how your body reacts with heat to a surplus of food or to a lack of it. I learned, that you can save a lot of time by fasting. So when you really need to focus and when you have a lot of projects, you should really like disregard food and just focus on doing the work. And you can easily go a day or two without food. And I also learned a lot about like the Stoic philosophy and how we actually don't need all the things we think we need, and you can function really well without them. I'll definitely do it again, maybe even up to a 5-day longer, I don't know yet. Next time I'll make sure I track my blood ketone levels, my blood glucose and my weight, so I can make some more exact conclusions. Maybe you will be interested in that as well, and I would definitely encourage you to do it. If you have any pre-existing medical conditions, please consult your doctor, otherwise you should be fine. But then again, I am no doctor, so don't take this as a medical advice. Anyway, thank you so much for all the comments, for all the views. It was an awesome experience, and I'll test something else soon as well. Have a good one and peace out.